In this video, I'll show you how you can make life-changing amounts of money with the Skool hype going on at the moment. And this strategy is not just about building Skool communities. By the end of this video, you'll know how to leverage Skool to build an actual business which can lead eventually to actual wealth. So yeah, let's just get straight into it. I've prepared a Miro board right here, how to make money with the Skool hype going on at the moment. And before I get into how you can leverage Skool to build an actual business, I want to just define what a real business or an actual business really is and compare that to what Skool is at the moment, or what a Skool business or a Skool community is. So what defines a real business? What is a real business? I just prepared these 5 key points right here, which in my opinion identify a real business, like the key indicators for what is a real business. And that is number 1, it solves a problem. The service you're providing solves a problem, or the product you're selling solves a problem. It is profitable, of course. I mean, you're going to want to be making money at the end of the day, so profitability is extremely important. It needs to be scalable. You want to be able to scale. I mean, that's self-explanatory as well. You want to be building actual equity value, so you, if you were to ever get bored for some reason and you want to sell that business should actually be worth something. Otherwise, it's not a real business, in my opinion. And also, you need to be, or you should be, innovative. Because if you're innovating in a certain niche, in a certain market, scaling, and especially profitably scaling, just becomes a lot easier because you can leverage word of mouth and stuff like that. All right, and now let's get into what a Skool community business looks like and if it is actually a real business. As you can see already, it is not a lot of them are green. I chose the same 5 key indicators just to make things clear. And yeah, let's just get straight into it. As you can see, solves a problem is green. I mean, that's a given. That's the whole point of a Skool community, right? You're solving people's problems or helping them solve them themselves. That's the whole point of it. Is it profitable? Definitely. You're not actually selling a physical product, so the product costs are extremely low or slim to none, and therefore your profit margins are extremely high. Is it scalable? I mean, on the one hand, it is scalable because it's a digital business, so there isn't, like I said, any product cost to it. You can scale into different markets quite easily. But as you scale, you do need to employ more people. You need appointment setters, you need community managers, you need support people, all that kind of stuff. So I just put it as yellow here, because it is scalable, but does come with a lot of more management and a lot of more costs attached to it. And now the next thing, equity value. Does a Skool community have equity value? Can you exit a Skool community for high multiples? I wouldn't say so. I mean, like I said, on the one side, it's good that you don't have a product because you're more profitable. But then again, how can you exit a business that doesn't even have a product? I mean, your product basically are the people inside of the community. Doesn't really make sense. You can't really sell something like that. At least the way Skool and Skool communities are set up at the moment. And our next thing, innovative. Are you innovating in a certain niche or certain market? Definitely not. I mean, if someone is innovating, and that's a big if someone is innovating, it's just someone out of your community, but not the community itself. You are solving problems, but you're not innovating. That's just my opinion. So as you can see, out of the 5 things that, in my opinion, kind of form a real business with a Skool community, you're kind of halfway there. You're ticking 2.5 out of those boxes. So now let's get into how you can turn this into this, or how you can leverage this and build this. And that's actually quite easy, or at least not that difficult. As you can see right down here, what you want to be doing is using Skool as your funnel. So Skool should be the funnel. Skool shouldn't be, or like your Skool community shouldn't be the end product. It shouldn't be your actual business. It should be the funnel to your actual product, to your actual business. And how you're going to be setting this up is quite simple. I mean, it's similar to all the other Skool community growing tactics out there, because at the end of the day, you do want to be growing your Skool community, but just at the end, funneling them to your actual business. So how do you grow your Skool community? You want to be posting short form content on platforms like Instagram, TikTok, or YouTube, funneling those short form content views, those eyeballs, into your long form content. Long form content can be video or image media type stuff. So for example, YouTube videos, but also written content like newsletters or blog posts. Newsletters, by the way, are an extremely overlooked marketing channel, because if you have a newsletter, you actually own the eyeballs. You're not depending on a platform like YouTube or TikTok or Instagram. You're not depending on these algorithms. So if all these platforms, for some reason, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, were to go down, you still have your email list. You can still always make money. Having an email list is extremely valuable. Just thought I'd drop that in there real quick. So, and from that long form content, from those YouTube videos, from those newsletters, from those blog posts, whatever, you want to be funneling those people into your Skool community. And that's most of the time where it ends. You're going to be charging like $50, $97 a month, I don't know, and you're done. You have a business. That's what most people say. And I mean, it's true. You can make some money with it. You can make like 5, 10, 20 grand a month with it. And I mean, that's nice. I mean, 10 grand a month, you're living at that point. Like, you're enjoying life. But let's say you want to build actual wealth, or let's say you want to have $1 million inside of your bank account. How do you get to $1 million with 10 grand a month? Like, that's simple math. Let's get the $1 million. and just divide it by 10,000 to see how many months it'll take you. It's 100 months. And 100 months divided by 12, that's 8.3 years. It takes you 8.3 years to get $1 million into your bank account if you're making 10 grand a month. And by the way, not spending even a dime of it. You're just living on the street at that point. If you were to be spending stuff, it'll take like 16 years, I don't know. But yeah, if you want to build actual wealth, 10 grand a month is not the way to do it. But what I'm going to show you now is the way to do it. So, and this is now the actual important part of this video. How do we go from this Skool community that we now have to the actual business that I talked about above? So what you're going to want to be doing is just nurturing the Skool community. You want to manage that Skool community. You want to actually provide value in there. But while you're providing that value, while you're nurturing that Skool community, you want to be promoting your actual product. And that actual product should be a more high ticket offer. That high ticket offer can be something, I just put two things down here. It can be something like software as a service or SaaS, or it can be something like coaching, like one-on-one calls, for example. I put coaching as gray and SaaS as green here because I feel like SaaS is just a better business model to get into. Coaching is great, don't get me wrong, you can make a fuck ton of money with it, but you're kind of tied to the business and you're always just working inside of the business instead of at the business. It's not that scalable, so I just put it as gray here. Feel free to sell it. I mean, don't get me wrong, it's a great business, but SaaS is just superior in many, many ways. I might be a bit biased because I've actually built a few SaaS products myself, so I know how incredibly profitable and scalable that can be. But yeah, trust me on this, it's better than coaching. So yeah, and that's basically it. That's the whole strategy. It's really that simple. You just want to be funneling your Skool community into another product. And that product, in my opinion, should be something like software. It is what Iman Ghazi is doing. It is what Alex Becker is doing, or used to do. It is what Alex Hormozi is doing. It is what Jordan Welch is doing. All these thought leaders in these different industries, in these different niches, they're all building software companies. They're all routing their traffic, all the traffic they're getting to those software companies. Because SaaS, or software at the end of the day, is digital real estate, and that's where the most money is made. Like, let's just compare the 10 grand a month calculation we did earlier for the Skool communities. The exit multiples on softwares are insane. Like, let's just check it out. SaaS exit multiples 2023. My bad. 2023. The average was 6.7x of the yearly revenue. So if you make 10 grand a month times 12, that's 120 grand a year, times 6.7, that's $804,000. So even if you're just making 10 grand a month, you're already almost at the $1 million mark. I mean, try to get it in your head. You don't need to be working on your Skool community or whatever you're selling for 10 grand a month for 8 or 16 years. You can just sell that thing as soon as you're making 10 grand a month and you're almost at the $1 million mark. Isn't that just insane? And I mean, let's say you make 20 grand a month. There you are. Let's say you make 30. Like, it just goes up from here. It's insane, the amount of wealth you're actually able to produce with software. So obviously, as you can tell, let me just close this real quick. As you can tell, I gotta finish this video before my computer shuts down. So as you can tell, software definitely is the way to go. But now you're probably thinking, how the hell am I going to get into software? I'm not a tech guy. I got my own business. I'm an influencer. Like, I got stuff to do, and I totally get that. There are two things you can do. Either learn coding yourself. You can do something like no code, for example, where you get there a bit quicker. You cannot build really complex stuff with no code, but you can build most of the stuff. But even no coding will take a few months for you to get actually proficient with it. But that's number one. Number two is you can partner up with a technical co-founder who will take care of all of that stuff for you. You will build the software, maybe even build the marketing materials for it, the funnels, etc., depending on who you go with. Whether you choose the first option or the second option, I want to just quickly get into the process of how building a SaaS actually looks, so you know what you're getting yourself into. Building a SaaS is quite easy. It's really just 4 or 5 steps. I just laid them out right here. First, number one, ideation. You want to come up with an idea. I mean, that's pretty obvious. For that, you can actually leverage your audience. You can just ask them what type of softwares they're using, what problems they're having with them, and then maybe offer a better solution for that, obviously in form of a software. So, and once you've got your idea, what you're going to want to be doing is building or designing a prototype. Because the whole game of SaaS is you don't want to start developing before you actually validate your idea. And how do we validate your idea? Well, it's quite simple. You just build a prototype. You design a prototype using something like Figma. It's similar to Photoshop, but way easier and specifically built for software prototypes. And then you want to be using that prototype, you haven't coded at this point, remember, and build your pre-launch site. For this, you can use something like Framer, still no coding. And on that pre-launch site, basically promote your prototype. People don't have to know that you haven't built that yet. You just want to be gauging how much interest there is in something like that without actually building the product itself. It should be just all about collecting email signups so that when you eventually launch, you already have people to launch to. It'll make your go-to-market a lot easier. So yeah, You build your launch site, you're starting to get the email signups because you're promoting that on your story, you're promoting it to your Skool community, stuff like that. And once you've validated your idea, what you want to be doing is building the actual landing page, and at the same time the MVP of your product. An MVP is a minimal viable product, so basically just a small version of the product you eventually want to get to. The MVP includes just the main 1 or 2 features so that people can get value from it without waiting months or years for you to launch the actual software itself. And yeah, as soon as you've got your MVP ready, this shouldn't take more than 3 to, 9 weeks, depending on how complex your MVP is, you can launch. And I mean, launching when you're an influencer, when you're a creator with an audience, it's super easy. I mean, you just want to be promoting it everywhere you can. You want to be promoting it in your Instagram stories, your YouTube shorts, your YouTube videos, your TikTok, your IG reels, inside of your Skool community. I mean, the sky's the limit at this point. Because if you've got an engaged audience willing to buy, you've got a software that's solving a problem, there's nothing standing in your way to be making millions. And yeah, that's pretty much it. That's how you can turn a Skool community into a real business, or how you can leverage Skool to build a real business. Just using it as a funnel to your actual product, coaching or SaaS. SaaS, in my opinion, now you know why. But yeah, if you are a creator, or maybe you know someone, maybe you're working with a creator that wants to get into the software space, like I said, option 1, build the software yourself. By the way, I will be making a few videos on that, a few tutorials on how to build software yourself. Or option 2, skip the months of learning or years of learning and get yourself a technical co-founder to simplify and streamline the whole process. I don't care which option you choose, but if you do go with the second one, feel free to DM me on Instagram or click the link down below in the description. You'll be sent to my agency site. Looks something like this. And we can maybe talk about building a software for your audience together. So yeah, let me know.